Alright, this is going to be another Hotpoint refrigerator repair video. This time what we're experiencing is that the compressor is basically running constantly. Even if I set it to warmer, the refrigerator never shuts off. So I've had to actually turn my freezer warmer to prevent stuff from freezing in the fridge. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and shut the refrigerator off here. And I'm just using a 1/4-inch ratchet with a 1/4-inch socket and a little extension. Okay, so that's out. It's just going to get it out of the hole there. I'm going to remove this lens, this light lens, just to make sure I don't break it. It should just pop right off here. And I'll get that in a second here. Alright. Hitting the switch with my arm. This just pops right up. There it is. Looks a lot like what we just looked at. Alright, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to unplug the refrigerator before I actually cut this. So I need to get some something to cut this with and another light. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this, leaving myself a little bit of length here because I need to splice the new one in. It's probably not necessary to shut the refrigerator off, but just for safety's sake, so you don't fry anything on the motherboard. You can see how this works. Basically, this temperature sensor talks to the motherboard, and when the refrigerator needs cold air, this flap simply opens up like this, using this piece here. And it should close, and I'm assuming because the refrigerator basically has been freezing all of our food, it's not closing, and I'm assuming it's this temperature sensor. So let's go ahead and get that spliced in real quick. Alright, so this is the piece I cut off. I'm going to basically make this piece just a little bit longer because I'm going to have to splice the wires together, so I don't want to cut it too short. And you could attach these in a couple of different ways, but I'm actually going to twist them together and probably use like shrink tubing, which is probably overkill. Not to mention using the heat gun in the refrigerator kind of seems. It's my dog growling. Alright, let me finish this up, let the dog out, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm just stripping the shielding off this end now in the refrigerator. I'm just using a razor knife. If you have wire strippers, you could use those, or another sharp knife. Just be careful not to cut yourself. Usually what I do is I cut in until I feel that I've hit the wire, and then I spin and twist, and that'll just twist right off. So I've got to get this one a little bit more. Obviously you want to be careful not to cut yourself. Alright, so let me get the new one here. Alright, you can see I already have the shrink tubing on my wire. It's this green tubing here that I've got slid down over it. I'm just going to take these wires, and there's no polarity on them, I believe, and just going to kind of twist them together so they're nice and neat, but also nice and tight. You don't want them to pull off, so what I usually do is just kind of bend them around each other. I don't think there's any need to solder this. And I'm going to keep that other sensor until I'm sure that this issue's been resolved, because there are apparently like 3 of these sensors. But because the problem with mine is the refrigerator, I'm assuming that it's this one. And apparently there are two others in the freezer as well. I'd have to confirm that. I'm just going to slide this shrink tubing up. Now again, you could use electrical tape, you could use, you could solder them together, you could use butt end connectors or something like that, but I don't know that it would fit. Remember, it's got to kind of fit in this channel, so that's why I went with the shrink tubing. All right, I'm just going to heat up my my heat gun, and we'll shrink them down. Let's make it quick here so we get this thing back together. Alright, so I don't know if you can see or not, but it just shrinks in on the wire. It makes a nice, tight shielding. Okay, let's go ahead and put this thing back together here, and then I'll have to test it out and see if it worked. Alright, as you can see, I have the refrigerator plugged back in. So this sensor sat down into this part of this little channel, and just kind of feed the wire in around, and then it just had this little piece of foam, I guess, to keep that from popping out. Oops, my arm hit the light switch on the door here, and this just popped down in here like this. Okay, we need to put this back together. Goes like that. Let me get the screws here. All right, put the lens back on here. Alright, so my refrigerator is actually quite warm right now because I just ran that heat gun and everything, and I've had the door open. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and shut the door and turn it on here. Actually, I don't need it that cold probably. And then once it cools down, I'm going to drop this not all the way to 0 and see if the refrigerator actually shuts off, because that was a symptom I was experiencing. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Maybe I'll make another video on the other sensor locations, but I'm hoping I'm not going to have to do that, but maybe for the benefit of others I'll do that. And thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you found this video helpful and want to see more. Thanks for watching. Have fun.